This is All Things Nerd production.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Kobolds in the Basement podcast. My name is Chad Hillson, your game master. We are joined with Dave Morris.
No time to be silly, because I lost Gilly. Caster Flamebeard.
Oh, no. Schaloan Dysland.
Plan is Luminora.
And Steven Dysland.
Valerian, as always, at your service.
So let's get into it. This is Kobolds in the Basement. Oh, you just went straight for the gut punch there, Dave.
Had to carry over the Bobette from last time.
All right, now before we get started, let's do a quick recap of the last episode. So last time, our heroes, after battling assassins that seemed to know more about our party than they did about each other, the High Sister set off an explosion on the lightning rail, sending our heroes scrambling and diving for their lives. Through the carnage, Lennyx found the sister clinging to life, only to hear her mutter the words, "Mother says hello," before cutting her head off to end the conversation. As the party travels and makes their way to Corona Peak, only to catch a cart ride to Frostmantle, the tensions are high. Upon reaching Cass's hometown in Frostmantle, he saw a young woman named Lily, the granddaughter of his beloved Gilly, who recognized him by everything she had heard of him through drawings and descriptions. While Cass was reunited with his long-lost love, only to realize the time he has truly lost, Lennyx confronts Valerian about Mother and throws names at him he has long tried to forget, Ubuntu and Obi, only to have threats and accusations thrown in Valerian's face. Luminora has been a fly in the wall through a lot of this, soaking in the information and learning more about her travel companions. As Cass is reunited with his Gilly in what can only be considered end-of-life care and hospice, she tells him how sorry she is that he didn't get the life he deserved, only to be reminded by his kin with a letter from his cousin apologizing in his final moments of clarity for the torment and life bestowed on Cass. The party decided then to travel to Noldrin Throne, to the mine and unstable portal of Cass's past, only to be sucked back into it, but not to a familiar setting from what Cass remembers, but somewhere new. As the portal collapses, Lennyx is sucked back towards the collapsing portal, and Valerian, the least likely one to attempt his salvation, rushes to grab his wrist and pull him back to stay with the party. And that's where we are now. So with that, let's come right on to this map here. Valerian, the one with the multicolor circles, that's where your character goes. And then Cass and Luminora, you can decide between the other two yellow circles or somewhere else on the map that's within some sort of distance of where Valerian and Lennyx are. But go ahead and drag your characters onto the map.
So you want us in one of the circles, you said?
It doesn't have to actually be in one of the circles. I just figured it's at a distance because you were thrown out of this portal with Valerian being closest to it and is now being sucked back into it. Or, sorry, not Valerian. Lennyx is being sucked back into it, but Valerian is almost like Predator handshaking and holding onto his wrist to hold him back. So let's start off right away. And Valerian, I need a strength saving throw.
I'll get you that. That is a natural 19.
That is a natural 20.
Love that you have a -1 to strength. That's phenomenal. So with a 19, as you're holding on to Lennyx, the portal is collapsing behind him. He's slowly slipping through your grasp as you lose grip of him and he's sucked back in. All you see in his eyes is a flash of fear as he's reaching out to you, and in an instant, gone. The portal collapses, and it is no longer there.
I will say that before the portal fully closed, and he, in that briefest of moments, as Valerian's hand slipped from Lennyx's, it just quickly shot up a middle finger.
It's funny. He was going to give you the finger based on your roll, and then you rolled a nat 20, so he didn't give you the finger. He just looks scared.
But I'm also Valerian's also smiling when he does it, so he knows it's out of good fun. It's almost a reassurance gesture, like "fuck you, we'll find you."
Right. So as that happens, the portal collapses in on yourself, and you find yourselves in this dark and desolate place. There's mountains, rolling hills, trees along the way, but there's almost like a dark red hue over the sky and everything that you can see. You're no longer in a cave, but it's an open field or an open clearing in the woods. You can see up in the sky like an exploded nebula and moons. They all look familiar to what you would see in the mortal plane back in Everton, in Corvair. But they're all visible in the sky at once. There is also a light source or a sun in the sky, but it's overcast by clouds of, again, that dark red hue, and also with moons in the sky. Cass, give me a history check.
This will not go well. Oh, that is a 17.
I mean, with the 17, you recognize the night sky and the hills and landscape from back when you were younger. It's a little bit foggy in your memory because it's been so long since you were last in school, but it describes the landscape of what Cyre looked like before the morning during the last war. The hills and landscape almost look inverted from the glowing sky and stuff like that. So it's almost like a mirror image of what you would have learned as a child of Cyre. So you're in this opening. You've just been thrown back through a portal. What's everyone thinking? What's everyone working with?
Cass is just basically drops to his knees and drops his weapon, his shield that he was carrying, and just kind of collapses to the ground. And he's like, "No, not again. No, it took me 350 years to get back there. I can't go through that again. Things are weird. Things don't feel right. Not again."
Valerian's kind of looking around. He's got his crossbow out, just kind of scanning his environment. This feels like a pickle.
Luminora is just flabbergasted. She has no idea what the heck just happened. She's just looking around like dazed and confused and like, what the fuck?
Yes, now just kind of like sitting on the ground, with like his knees up and like his arms resting on his knees and just his head down, just kind of just muttering to himself, 350 years for this. I don't know if I can do this again. By the flame, by the sovereign, I don't know if I can do this again.
Valerian walks over to Cass and just lays a hand on his shoulder. "Do not worry, friend. Together we shall prevail."
Do you have any idea where we are or what we're doing?
It matters not.
Because I don't think we're when we used to be.
Together, we will get through this. Don't despair.
No, I don't think you grasp what's going on. This looks like Cyre, but before the day of mourning.
Oh my.
Which means that's like 400 years before your time. So it's not.
Well, they always did
quite
say I had
right.
an old soul.
So we've been pulled either back in time, which I didn't even think was possible, or somewhere else that looks like Cyre. I don't know. It looks like the Cyre I learned about, but it just doesn't. Something's off. But this reminds me of Cyre before the day of mourning, maybe even before the war. I mean, we might still know our way around, but villages, towns, people that we knew, they might not be here. Everybody
That's
we
what I must have been met with.
might have known or loved could be gone. And I've been through that once. I don't want anybody else to go through that. It's been hard enough getting back to where I was, only to fail a second time.
Squats down next to him. Looks him reassuringly in the eye. My friend, you got out of this once, alone, and now you have friends to help you. Again, together, we'll figure this out.
Well, I had friends the last time too, but it still took me 350 years. I don't know if I have another 350 in me.
How did you manage to get out last time?
Well, last time I wasn't thrown back onto Eberron. I was cast out into the astral sea, far, far away from where Eberron is located. And I was found by a ship. They picked me up, and through their work, they slowly got me closer and closer to Eberron until they were close enough to one of the guys on the ship who was a powerful druid, and he was able to plane shift me back right as we were being attacked by Illithid ships. So I don't know what their fate was either. They might have risked everything for me, and I don't know what happened to them. So now I've lost 2 families already, maybe even almost 3 in a way. I don't know if I can go through that again.
Well, you shan't lose this one. Seems to me that we need to find someone who can send us home.
Well, it all depends. If this is in the past, I don't know anybody. I've never heard of anybody who could cast that kind of spell. If this is somehow the morning has been lost and restored, then maybe we just gotta make our way back to a place we know. But things are just off. I can't sense or call Gilly.
Oh no, Gilly.
I mean, I'm sure she's fine. She's more of a spirit than, a person, but my connection to her is broken right now.
There's no way she was left behind and through the portal?
Possible, but we didn't have her with us when we went.
Well, do you know whereabout we may be?
Would I know roughly where in Cyre we might be?
Yeah.
So as you're looking around and with the 17 history check, with what looks to be like an inverse of the landscape, like I'd mentioned before, instead, I mean, obviously you're next to like a chasm where the portal was, but looking around, you see like mountains, which Cyre didn't have any like major mountain ranges. So you could almost assume that it would be the inverse of the glowing chasm. So you're kind of in the northern middle of Cyre, or as the others would know it as the Mournlands. This is kind of what you see in the night sky of, mountains in the distance, several moons, a glowing red sun with clouds and fog and overcast lighting the sky. No, you can't really tell if it's daytime or nighttime. It's dark and light at the same time. It's almost like a paradox.
Interesting.
You said there's still 12 moons? You said there's 12 moons right now?
Yeah, what you can see in the sky is you're seeing, several moons all across the horizon.
Well, what I can remember, we're probably north of Calazart. Maybe, that would be the closest city in pre-morning Cyre. that would take us back to where there might be main roads. Going further north, we'd have to cross a river or something like that. So our best bet's probably to try to get south and then go towards what would be what we know as Thrain. To the west, that would be the land way. Otherwise, we're going to have to cross either the Cyre River or part of the other waterways that always surrounded Cyre. I say south is probably our best bet.
Yeah, let's try to get somewhere where we can make sense of any of this.
Like I said, this is off. Cyre didn't have mountains like this. This should be plains or flatland. It's like we're upside down.
Well, we won't find any answers here. So I do suggest that whichever direction we go, that we get moving.
We can start our hike south then and see if we come across a main road like they used to have in Cyre.
All right. So as you start making your way south, I mean, you got a few days hike ahead of you realistically. Let's someone just roll a d20 for the first day's travel. All right, Valerian with a 14. All right. So as you start making your way through plains, there seems to be, some woods and stuff like that, but not too much. As you start getting more towards just open plains, as you're making your way to what feels like south, you realize that there's high winds picking up. You hear the sound of rain, but you don't actually see any rain or anything like that. But it really takes its toll on you. So as you're traveling, it feels like you're constantly walking into the wind and everything like that. You get tired quite quickly. And, after about, several hours of hiking and everything like that, you decide to set up camp for the night. As you're getting everything settled up, it almost seems like as you have stopped traveling, the wind starts to die down, but you're just tired from walking into the wind all day. What are you doing as everything is, as you're setting up camp and everything's dying down?
Probably starting a fire.
Well, I think I've made it abundantly clear that I'm a mess, but how are you two holding up after going through that portal?
Confused would be an accurate word.
That's fair.
Very confused.
I mean, to be honest, this is better than the last one I went through. Last time I literally found myself floating in the void. At least here I have someplace to walk. But something's just not right. This is really making me feel on edge that things are backwards or opposite from what I remember. I mean, it looks like Cyre, but the terrains are all off and things are different, and I don't know. I'm really worried that we could be someplace even more dangerous than we already were.
Perhaps I have little doubt, but I'm sure we'll find answers.
I hope so. But I'll start setting up my tent.
So as you're setting up camp, starting a fire, putting up, tents and everything like that, is there anything that you're trying to do with your surroundings, or are you just trying to stay all close together? What's kind of the idea for the party here?
Should someone keep watch?
Yeah, we probably need to take shifts since most of us can't go a full 8 hours without some form of rest. If we keep our tents pretty close together, I can put up something to help give us a warning system.
Mm-hmm.
That would be wise. Tell you what, I'll take the first shift. Cass, you should try to sleep. It won't come easy, but you should try.
After we get our tents set up and once we do, I want them all like really bunched together,
Mhm.
so they're like almost like on top of each other, like almost touching. And then I pull off the glove off my left hand, and I use my mark to cast alarm around the tents. So if anybody other than us crosses that line, I will hear a noise in my head.
Right. And then
What does the noise sound like?
Well, let's see. The way what does it say exactly? Till the spell ends, alarm alerts you whenever a tiny or larger creature touches or enters the warded area. When you cast a spell, you can designate the creatures that won't. You also choose whether the alarm is mental or audible, so I can make it so we all hear it. Mental alarm alerts you with a ping in your mind if you are within 1 mile. This ping awakens you if you're sleeping. An audible alarm produces the sound of a handbell for 10 seconds. So we'll have.
That's good.
I'm giving us more cowbell.
And remind me, because yours wasn't, your mark isn't apparent.
Nope, it is a full-on dragon mark.
So, is there any consequences for using it more and more? Or is it just like a 1 a day sort of thing?
It's a 1 a day spell. I can cast.
Okay.
So I can cast that, or mage armor, or arcane lock. I can cast each of those once a day.
Oh, each of those ones. Okay. Okay, cool. So, as you get everything set up, and, earlier when you started out on your trek, you couldn't really quite tell if it was morning, midday, or night. As you've made your way, you start to notice it doesn't get fully dark, because there's still a sun in the sky, and the moon's reflecting its light, but you do notice that it gets a little bit darker. Is there, as Valerian goes out to take first watch, is there anything that he's trying to do? Are you trying to stay close to the tent, within range of the alarm, or are you kind of scouting? What's going through Valerian's head?
I'm definitely staying just right in the vicinity of our tents.
Okay.
I don't know where we are. I don't know what could be here. Just staying right here, just keeping my head on a swivel.
Okay. Are you looking for anything in particular, or just looking for movement?
Movement, odd noises that signal, something's moving, particularly towards us.
Okay. While you're out there on the first watch, give me a perception check.
Ooh, a 6.
Okay. Well, with the 6, I mean, that's not bad by any means, but you just notice that as it gets a little bit darker out, the overcast skies really start to darken, and that's about it. It's where you are all at is eerily quiet.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, and then remind me, Valerian, do you trance, or do you have to get a full 8 hours?
I believe I trance. Yeah, I trance. But I'm also going to, while I'm on watch, I am going to find familiar and bring out J. Hoover.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so Jagger Hoover, shows up, perches himself on your shoulder, kind of like headbutts and nuzzles you, and then takes off to fly to kind of like keep an eye on things.
My good boy.
All right, as your first part of the watch kind of ends, does anyone want to take the second part, or once you feel confident that there's nothing really out there with the alarm spell, do you just head to your tent and sleep? It's up to y'all.
Well,
I'm just kind of curled up in my tent, just like trying to sleep, but I don't know if I can sleep given this turn of events.
With
Actually, he's
that
lying in the
cast,
field.
actually give me a luck roll.
That is a 2, Cotton.
Yeah, you're resting, but you're not finding any sort of sleep or relaxation. Your anxiety is just through the roof of, not again. What the hell happened? Why are we here?
And where the fuck is here?
What the fuck is happening here? Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Valerian. It sounded like you were starting to say something.
I was just making a joke that Cass was in his tent in the fetal position, just gently sucking on his thumb.
All right. So, are you going to get someone else up to take a second watch, or are you going to just trust the alarm spell and head back to your tent and rest?
I'm feeling really bad for Cass. I'll probably wake Luminora up. Just with a nice shake of the shoulder.
Wakes up. Ready to switch off?
I figured we could let Cass sleep for a little while, but I think someone should keep an eye out.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Go ahead and get some rest. I got it.
Thank you, Dad. Valerian goes to sleep. Falls asleep right away. Like not even, or trances right away. Just seamless.
All right.
Are you looking for something, Chad?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I was like, what was going on?
I forgot if I opened one of your... I was seeing if you tranced or if you had to take the full long rest, being half elf.
She's got to pull the hard 8-hour trance.
Yeah, I tranced so hard. It lasted for 8 hours. Okay, perfect. So, the rest of the night is pretty quiet. Everything, you wake up, it's still just this dark red and gray overcast going on. As you get up, you start packing up camp and you start making your way further south. As you're making your way on the second day, can everyone give me a perception check?
18.
8.
That is an 18.
18 for Cass and Valerian, and 8 for Luminora. Luminora, as you're going, you're just you're paying attention to just the nature around you, the plains, the few trees and bushes here and there. Constantly you're looking at the sky in bewilderment as to why all the moons and the sun are visible at once, and why is it this dark gray red color. For Cass and Valerian, as you're walking, you're still paying attention to those things, but you notice it's almost like a stale smell in the air. Like not a lot has come through this area in a long time. It's just void of activity and life as you're making your way through the second day. And then on top of that, I need one more person to just roll a d20 for me.
I was going to just ask, is there like any signs of life, like plant life, animals, anything like that, or no?
There are plants. With an 18, you've noticed birds in the sky. Not a lot of like ground animals, but you're kind of walking through plains and stuff like that. So there are signs of life. It's just not abundant where you are currently. And then with a 7, with a 7 for that d20 there, Luminora. Today there's, as you're walking along, you come into kind of like a light fog and rain. It's coming down. It doesn't smell like fresh rain or anything like that. Still, it has that like stale smell. But the ground is wet. It's slowing you down, everything like that. But as you start making your way, you get to kind of like a grove of, it kind of looks like woods, but it's sparse. There's not a lot of trees at first. as you start making your way into them to get kind of a cover from the rain and everything like that. And you're working your way through these woods. As you start getting into it further, you start to notice that it's getting thicker and thicker and thicker. And then we're going to move on over to this map. So if you want to all put yourselves on the map right here, as everything's starting to thicken up, but you're getting a little bit more cover from the rain, from the canopy and everything like that. But your vision is kind of impaired by this fog.
So the fog is getting thicker?
No, the wildlife around you is getting thicker. More and more trees, bushes, everything like that.
Okay.
And you come to a fork in the road. What are you wanting to do?
Take the fork.
More of a spoon guy myself.
To the left or right there.
I'm clueless at this point. I don't know what you guys are thinking. This place doesn't even smell right. I mean, we're out in the open. The things are stale. It's like we're inside, but not.
Step up. I have a surefire way, whenever I'm faced with crossroads like this, to decide which way to go. Sticks his finger in his mouth and lifts it up, and it looks like I'm doing something very important. I'm reading the wind, or like the energies of the air, and then I point to the left. Aha! We must go this way.
Roll a deception check. See if they believe that you're just completely bullshitting.
That's a 9.
Well, my passive insight would be 10.
They know that you just did something to try and make them feel better. Do you guys decide to go to the left?
I also have like a haphazard smile on my face. Just, yeah. Like a used car salesman.
I'm really not in a spot to really question. I mean, we could have just flipped the coin, so I'm just like, yeah, sure, I'll try left. What's the worst that could happen, right?
It's a perfectly sage technique.
Yeah.
As you...
But you should lead the way.
Yeah.
As you head to the left, the groves, bushes, and trees get so thick, and you come to a wall of trees and branches, basically just blocking your way.
Should have went to the right.
You see, I knew it from the start. We should have gone to the right.
Yeah. Well, Cass is just going to get his quarterstaff back out, though, and I'm just going to kind of rest it back on the shield again as more precautionary, because these woods are very unfamiliar, and I've got a bad feeling about this. Like every Star Wars movie.
I suppose there wasn't a way we could, just my own interest here,
It didn't look like there was any way to really get past it, just with how
blow it up,
thick the
right?
groves were and the trees and branches. There really didn't seem to be a good path forward.
So a definite dead end. Okay.
Right, yeah. It was definitely a dead end. So as you start making your way forward, let's do that. More path starts to open up. And Cass, since you're in the front, leading the way with your quarterstaff on top of your shield, give me a perception check with advantage.
That is a 6 with advantage.
You don't really notice anything yet, but you do notice that there's a different smell in the air, but you're not quite sure what it is. I think it's just because you're so on edge that you're just confused and anxious.
Can I enter symbiotic entity?
Yeah, more than welcome to. to take up one of your wild shapes, and that at level 4 lasts 2 hours for you,
I think
right? Because it's half of your druid level.
No, that's wild shape. I believe it only lasts 10 minutes.
Oh,
I thought it used her wild shape.
It does, but it doesn't.
But it doesn't act as a wild shape. Okay.
okay, never mind. I won't enter it yet. I was under. I thought it was a long rest, so never mind. I'll wait.
Yeah.
Well, you get your wild shapes back on a short rest too.
Yeah.
So if you use one and then we take an hour break, you would get it back.
Okay.
Still gonna hold off on it?
No, I'll just enter it. I'll do it. So it is 4 temporary hit points for each level I have in this class.
Yeah, so you get 16 temp HP.
Okay.
All right. As Valerian and Luminora do, kind of round this corner and catch up with Cass, you guys also give me perception checks of Valerian with advantage because of Jagger Hoover.
Wee boy, thank God. I got a 12.
Okay.
21.
And 21. So
The only one without advantage.
yeah. So let's start with Valerian with the 12. As you start getting closer, you hear like a crackling of flame. You smell something burning, whether it's a candle or a lantern. It's not like a raging fire or anything like that. And then Luminora with the 21, you also hear a young voice just up ahead. Sounds like they are praying and they sound scared, but young. Yeah, I don't know why your rolls are whispering, but we'll just keep calling them out.
Yeah, it's a good habit anyway.
Okay, so someone young calling out.
Yep. So as you move forward, you see very much a young looking boy. It's a tiefling. Couldn't be more than like 15, 16 years old. He's sitting in front of this little altar in the woods there. He looks huddled up. Can't really tell if he's praying or just like talking to himself. He's got a lantern going. And he's kind of like hugging his knees and just rocking back and forth, looking quite scared. He's got like a pale violet skin, jet black hair, and like dark maroon eyes. He's just sitting there, and as you guys round the corner, he kind of like startles himself and is like, "Oh, geez, I'm sorry. Who are you?"
Who am I? Who the fuck are you?
I lower take my spear and kind of stand it more straight up and down so it's less threatening. Let's go. We don't mean you any harm. We're just lost, for lack of a better word. Not sure where we are and what we're doing here, but my name's Castor.
Oh, it's nice to meet you, Castor. I didn't think I would. I didn't think I'd find anyone out here. I haven't seen anyone in a very long time. My name's Tevin. It's embarrassing. I'm kind of lost. I thought I could do this on my own. I'm scared.
Maybe we can help each other. And do you know where we are, what this woods is called? And let's just say we don't know much about the landscape here.
What do you mean you don't know about the landscape? Are you not from here?
My boy, we don't even know where here is.
We're in Cyre. What
year is it?
What? If are you from the before times?
Depends. The last year we knew it was like 12 or 1250 or something like that, roughly.
1350.
Last time I knew it was 1350 YK.
1350. I don't know. I guess that would make sense if where you came from had the before times. It's 354 here. That's the only year that I know. From what I've been told since everything changed, that's when we started using a different calendar, I guess. Like, everything's the same calendar wise, but like the years are different. I mean, we learned about other stuff in school, but yeah, it's 354. How could it be 1350? Are you from the future?
I'm not sure. What do you mean? When you said before times, what did you mean?
After times.
Back when the sun and moons took turns in the sky, and it would be bright and dark in one day, not just this. I'm sorry, how did you get here?
Very good question.
We were pulled through some kind of manifest zone.
Like a door?
More like a hole.
Before you went through that, did the sun shine?
It did. So we need to find some history books.
Oh, okay. I think I could retrace my steps to get back. I don't really want to go back, but
Well, I don't want to make you do anything you don't want to, but if you don't mind me asking, it looks like you were making an offering or something. Who are you making your offering to?
anyone that would listen. My mom, she would just tell me that if you pray and try to be good, that one of the old gods would hear you, and be gentle on you. She prayed a lot. She's embarrassed and ashamed of me.
Because you're a tiefling?
Yeah. She was, the way she says it, she was tricked. And even though she tried to love me and be a good mom, but I could tell that she didn't like looking at me.
Is that why you don't want to go back?
Yeah, kind of. And people would make fun of me because I would try and pray to whoever would listen up in the sky, to the old gods, and everyone said that it was a waste of time because why would they listen to me?
The old gods ever go by a name like the sovereign host, the silver flame?
I remember my mom talking about the silver flame, but I don't remember a lot of the names of the gods that she would try praying to.
Seems like the host and flame might have fallen out of a bit of favor since we were last here. So I'm not going to ask you to go, but is there a village or town nearby?
Yeah, there's one, it's about 2 days, hike, maybe a day and a half, if you go south. It's still before you get back to my hometown, so, I mean, I can show you the way. Since I was even younger, I wanted to be an explorer, so I know once we get back on the path that I took here, I got kind of lost in the woods, but I found this altar. But once we get back to the main path, I can show you the way. It's pretty easy once we get through the woods. I just don't know if I'm still going in the same direction. But I've just been alone, so can I come with? Can I promise I won't be in your way.
Of course.
I'm not gonna stop you. Can I look at the altar he found and see if I recognize any of these symbols or anything?
Yeah, go for it. Give me a religion check.
Yeah. Somebody's probably else gonna be better than me, but that is a natural 20 for a 19.
Hey,
So as you
I'll drink to that.
look at this altar, I mean, it's got overgrowth going on it. This has been neglected for, you can only piece it together, probably centuries. But you do notice that there is a symbol of the silver flame still loosely in it, but the stone is kind of like worn away from not being kept up with, and the weather and everything like that. And also, while you are examining this altar, give me a perception check with advantage as well, Cass.
That is a 12.
Okay. With a 12, I mean, you're hearing rain above, and it sounds like it's raining pretty heavily. It's not a very strong looking canopy, like you can see through the branches and leaves up to the sky. And some rain is still getting through, but based on the noise that you're hearing, it's not adding up with how heavy the rain sounds coming through the leaves versus how much is actually hitting the ground around you.
I roll an insight check on our little friend here.
Yeah, what are you trying to determine?
How genuine he's being with us.
Go for it.
It's a natural.
Yo,
20.
with a nat 20, he's a scared teenager. He's worried about, I mean, what a teenager would be worried about. He came across a bunch of strangers, startled him. Now he's scared what you think of him. He is terrified to go back home, but he doesn't want to be alone. He's just scared.
What was his name again?
Tevin?
Tevin or Tabin?
Tevin. Like Kevin.
Like Kevin with a T.
Yeah.
Oh, Tevin. Okay.
So it's like if someone at Starbucks tried to write Kevin.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then call out iced coffee for Claire. Exactly.
You know, Tevin, I think your horns are quite fabulous.
You think so?
I do. Be so bold as to say they're badass.
Thanks. When I was younger, when they first started coming in, my mom would file them down, but since I left home, I really haven't been able to, so I've just been letting them just be natural, and I think they look cool, but I worry what everyone else thinks, because my mom says that it means that I was marked by a demon or a devil, and I don't want to be a demon or devil. I want to be good. I want to help people.
Nonsense, my boy. You are your own person, no matter what anyone might think or say about you. Look at our friend here, the short one. Ugly bastard, but we love him the same.
He's not that short. We're like the same height. And I like his beard. I wish I could grow one.
You're still growing.
I put my hand on his shoulder, Tevin, just because you look this way doesn't mean you're a demon, and it doesn't mean you did anything wrong. In fact, probably means somebody else in your family did something. So this is nothing to do with you. If you think they look cool, then your horns are cool. Just worry about how you feel about yourself and not what other people think. But why don't you get out of this woods? Something's not right. I feel it's raining, but it's not wet. It's not the ground. We should be soaked, but we're not.
Yeah, that happens a lot around trees and woods. But
Not this much. We should still be getting drips and things don't make sense to me here.
okay, well, what was your name again, Mister? With
I'm Caster.
Caster, and Sir with the silly voice.
Sorry. Valerian.
Valerian?
Valerian.
Valerian. Okay, and
And the especially loud one in the back there is Luminora.
this is Luminara. Okay. Well, I like your two colored eyes. You're it's different, like me, and I like that.
Well, thank you, Tevin. It is a pleasure to meet you.
Oh, okay, let me grab my bag and then let's go. Since it's raining, should I put out this torch, or do you think it'll be okay? I don't want to burn down something that means something to people.
Does it look like his torch is like gonna fall over or anything, or is it like in a nice holder or anything?
It's literally like a tiki torch, basically like a stick with nothing's around it. He's just anxious and worried about doing something bad.
That's an altar to the silver flame. I don't think the fire's gonna bother it.
Okay. Well then let's go.
Onward.
Are these woods dangerous?
I haven't seen, and like I said, you guys kind of scared me because I haven't seen anyone or really anything in weeks. So, I mean, it might be dangerous if you like roll an ankle and get stuck in mud or something like that. But other than that, no, it's pretty okay.
That's treacherous.
I see you try to make a joke. That was funny.
At least someone gets my sense of humor. Someone with good taste. It's good to have you around, young Kevin.
Thanks, Tevin. What is that? Okay, Valerian. So as you guys start making your way through the woods, everything kind of.
We can't see.
Yep, because I'm gonna change the map here. As you start making your way through the woods, it starts to lighten up a little bit. The rain, the rain starts to let up a little bit as you start making your way through everything. You're making your way down through the woods, following Tevin. He's, just trying to make small talk, learn a little bit more about you. He's asking a lot of questions about the weather and the sky, from where you guys came from, because he's never seen a brightly lit sky. So he's just very curious about all of those things.
Yeah, I'll try to describe those kind of things best I can. We'll also kind of interject some questions of my own, like, have you ever heard of like the Mornland, or do you know roughly how long ago the sky went red? Trying to gauge, a little bit of history and events, and try to get a bearing on when the fuck we are.
Yeah. So when I was in school, and then also just like talking with people that my mom knew, I mean that's why it's only the year 354 here, is because that when the sky went weird and dark, I guess I'm kind of used to this light. That's when we started the new year, I guess. If that makes sense. I've never heard Mournlands. I've heard of mourning, like when you wake up, or if you're just like really sad. Like, but is is there a sad place where you're from called Mournlands?
So, back in my youth, there was where we're standing now in Cyre. There was a terrible tragedy that covered the whole nation in a gray cloud. And as far as we knew, everybody who was in Cyre at the time perished. And they called that the Day of Mourning. And
That makes sense. That would be very sad.
And when I was, even as far as we knew, to us a day ago, the land was still dangerous and covered in that fog. So I'm trying to figure out how long after we left where we were, or when we were, it was before the sky went dark.
I don't know. There's some people in the village that we're going to that might be able to answer some questions. There's rumors of, like, and as he says this, he looks at both Valerian and Luminora. There's rumors of some elves that are very old that still wander the woods, in and around some of the villages and stuff like that. But they kind of keep to themselves. But some of them have been here since the first day of the dark sky. They might know more than what I can tell you. I mean, they don't talk much or teach much in school about the before times. They just talk about how the sky went dark, and no one knows why or how. But we've done what we can to survive and keep going. I mean, I don't know why I included myself in we. I mean, I'm not very old.
Tevin, we're gonna have I think we can hopefully answer a lot of each other's questions. Like, is there a ruler of Cyre?
It kind of depends on, where you are. I mean, there's like mayors in the towns and stuff like that, and I mean there's a pretty big town and population near the lake. They just call it the waters. But there's a lot of people there, and a lot of old and smart people. A lot of people that provide like supplies and stuff to the smaller towns come from there.
I want to, kind of check out what something looks interesting here. Just roots.
So as you're moving on, everyone give me a perception check. Sorry for the interruption, dear heroes, but I just have to ask. Are you like me and my friends, where your food tends to be lacking just a little something extra? If you are, then look no further than Crybaby Craig's hot sauce to fix all of your spicy and saucy needs. Because this pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce will go on practically anything. It was started by Craig himself in the Twin Cities of Minnesota, and this sauce has become a staple of all hot sauces and flavor enhancers across the lands for many, many moons. If you don't believe me, go and check out crybabycraigs.com and order yours today to, quite frankly, just better your life. Or at least your taste buds. But be sure to let them know that we sent you, and enjoy the best damn hot sauce there is. Now, let's get back to the show.
19.
17.
13.
Right, and I guess I should also do one for... Oh. Tevin rolled a 10. He's just talking and trying to keep up, and he's just happy to be around people. But Luminora and Valerian with a 17 and a 19, you do hear some rustling to your left and to your right. It sounds like several sets of feet and stuff like that going on. And so with that, you notice that some bandits pop up from hiding behind bushes, behind rocks, and everything like that. And I need everyone to roll for initiative.
An 8 for initiative.
15.
19.
Okay. So as you're doing that, you see 4 people pop up. 2 just kind of regular looking bandits. 1 dude that kind of looks to be the one calling the shots. He's a little bit further back. And then you also see a bugbear step out from the hiding. No, it is not Lennyx. But he looks a little uncomfortable to be there, but it looks like he's kind of forced to be there. And so there is all of that. Oh, I need the initiative order. Okay, perfect. Did I get everyone on there? I did not. I'm missing Luminora. What did you roll?
I rolled an 8.
An 8. Okay.
Also, quick question.
Yes.
So what you said, that was about the bugbear, right?
Yep.
Okay. So if we are going into combat and stuff, and I mean, obviously I want to talk to this guy, I want to know from what we, perceived, what's going on. So I don't want to kill him. Right? So how do we go about that? Just
as you go to an attack, I mean, if he gets down to 0 HP, you can say that you want to do non-lethal damage. Basically, just to knock him out instead of kill him.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. So first off is going to be the kind of the captain. He's going to run up, and then he doesn't have any ranged attack, so he's just kind of gonna try and block the way a little bit, but he's going to ready in action. He's just going to ready his scimitar for when if you guys come close enough to him. So then that's going to go to Valerian.
Okay. Can I get to? I mean, minus range. Can I get to any of these guys, or any of these guys behind any big cover or?
I mean the
elevation.
The bandit that is to your side there, you could get to him. You would probably lose 5 feet of movement to get on top of the rock. I mean, it's not super tall, maybe in between shoulder and waist height. So he was kind of crouched behind it. So you could get up there to attack him if you want to do something close range.
But
otherwise, the captain that's kind of blocking the way is within clear range of any sort of range. And then the bugbear is a little bit further back. So unless you get on top of the rock, they're definitely going to have partial cover. And then the other bandit that's over here is standing up again, above a waist height rock. So you could get him with something ranged, but you wouldn't be able to get to him for melee.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm gonna move a little closer to the guy to our left. And he got. He has. I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember how much movement my owl has.
A lot more than you.
Yeah. I think it's 80.
I was gonna say it's probably at least 60.
Yeah.
60. Okay. Okay. Jared's just gonna swoop in and start flapping flapping, pecking, and otherwise distracting this bandit over here. And then I will take out my handy hand crossbow and shoot it at him
All right.
for 17 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. So roll for damage.
That's 8 damage plus my 1 or 2d6. 1? Is it still 1?
No, it's 2d6.
Okay. So that's 8 plus 6 damage.
For 14.
For
Yeah.
a total of
So
14.
you start running towards this bandit. Jagger Hoover just, just goes over there flapping, pecking. He's like, ah, fuck, look out! And then just crossbow bolt straight through the face. He slumps over. He's dead.
What we like to see. And then
And Cass, you're on deck. But anything else you want to do? Valerian?
yes, I'm also gonna take just another shot at and take my second crossbow shot at the bandit leader. But J. Edgar's gonna, kind of stay around where he is.
Okay.
I don't know how you guys navigate this character sheet so fast. 11 to hit.
So 11 misses. So as you put one straight between the first bandit's eyes and you turn to shoot at the leader, you just, as you're turning, you pull the trigger a little bit too soon and it just whizzes right over his shoulder. And then that is now to Cass.
You guys picked the wrong dwarf to mess with. I've been looking for something to smash.
Oh, smash.
And since I can't get any closer to him because I've got stubby dwarf legs, I will then take the dodge action.
Okay, perfect. And then that is going to bring it to Tevin, who's like, oh, geez. Well, hang on. And he's going to just kind of move up here. And then what he's going to do is he's going to cast Guiding Bolt. Like, this entire time you've seen just like this timid kid, and even as he's running up, he's like, oh God. And then he just like snaps into it and casts Guiding Bolt at the captain there, the leader. But unfortunately, he is still like, he's starting to gain his bearings, but he's still very nervous because, like he had mentioned before, he doesn't want to like hurt people or scare people, but he realizes that he kind of has to at this point in time. So he casts Guiding Bolt, and this flash of just bright white streaks out of his hands towards the captain, but hits the ground just at his feet. A little bit of dirt flies, but he does not hit. So then that's going to go to the bugbear, who's going to kind of hop over some of these tree roots, kind of get up onto a ledge of some other rocks off to the side. And then he is going to, at Cass there, he's going to throw one of his javelins. And that's a nat 20.
At disadvantage?
That is 45 feet.
Well, A, that's long range. B, I took the dodge action.
Oh, that's true, because it's only a 30-foot range. Then it's still a 20 at disadvantage to hit. Just unnatural.
Yeah, that hits.
All right. It's only for 4 damage, though. So the bugbear gets the ledge, takes one of his javelins, and just, with a snarl, just throws it towards you. Just kind of clings into your shoulder. Doesn't stick or cause a whole lot of damage, but kind of, 'tis but a flesh wound.
I just let it stay in there right now. Cass I am just seeing red. I'm looking for somebody that's just to hit as hard as I possibly can.
Perfect. And then that's going to be Luminora.
All right. Okay. Luminora is going to move up to in between Tevin and Cass here. And she is going to shoot Ice Knife at level 1 at the little gang leader here.
Okay.
Double nat
That's
20s.
Double nat 20s.
Double
God.
nat 20. That's the first time this has happened in this campaign. Look at you beating the odds of 1 out of 400.
Hey, I
Okay.
got double nat 1s.
Same odds, just less impressive.
Far less.
Okay, so he needs to do a dexterity save. Right?
Well, he takes the piercing damage flat out. That hits and doubles. And so she does the 15 piercing from the crit. And then he does a dex save.
You got a 3.
Oh, well, then he's taking the 19 cold damage because that's also doubled on the crit.
It's all doubled on the crit? That didn't automatically double it?
Well, no, it's that 19. That 19 is the extra dice.
Thank God. It's going to be like, there's no way Ice Knife could potentially one-shot this dude. So that's 15 and 19. So what is that? Help me.
34.
Math. 20,
44?
34?
34.
34. I mean, that hurt.
No, that one was
It
better
hits
than
and it
expected.
shatters, and he like stumbles back, as he's catching his breath with these shards of ice. As it hit and explodes, some of it goes up into his cheeks and under his chin, through his mouth into his tongue, and he just goes, "Ow, that really hurt." And then from there, it's going to, it would be the regular bandit's turn, but there's only one left, so they're going to fortunately run up on Tevin right there, but they're going to use their scimitar, just swing on him with a 19 to hit, which definitely does. He swings down on Tevin, and Tevin just looks terrified, but it hits him, cuts into his arm, and he kind of like slumps for a second, but kind of quickly regains his composure now that adrenaline's kicking in. But he takes 7 damage. And that is going to be back up to like the leader there. And he's going to run up to Cass and use his multi-attack. So he's going to swing his...
When he gets within 5 feet, I'm going to use my reactive strike to swing on him.
Oh, that's different than the dodge that you took.
Yep, because this is a reaction.
Oh, fuck, bud. Yep, go ahead. Take your reaction to swing.
That is an 18 to hit.
It does. 18 hits, and what's the damage there?
But it's not rolling. So that is a total of 11.
11. Okay. Yeah, so as he gets close to you,
It's just, he comes in, and I just extend that spear out real quick, like Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men with a little...
cow prod.
Yeah, the cow prod. They just... just smack him right in the forehead with it.
It hits the side of his forehead, glances off, blood starts to trickle down. It definitely makes him take a second to regain his composure because he just got hit in the head. No, I didn't do that first. Okay. So then he's going to swing his scimitar at you. Well, the first one was a 19. Does 19 hit?
Again, these are also at disadvantage, and no.
Okay, well then definitely the 13 doesn't hit.
Yeah, dodge action is all attacks until the start of my next turn.
Oh, fuck, bud. Okay. Yeah.
That is how you tank, ladies and gentlemen.
So he swings, and it bounces off the shield, swings back again, hits the shield, slides over to your spear, and he can't quite hit that gap, so he pulls back and just is now in direct combat with you. And that goes back up to...
Does he get other attacks or no?
Oh, yeah. He gets one more attack. So as he swings the scimitar twice, from behind his back, he pulls out a dagger to try and get you. If an 18 didn't hit the first time, it's not going to hit again. So again, he's just flustered. I mean, these are bandits. They're not the most well-trained fighters, but he's frustrated. Well, he misses on all three, so then that goes back to Valerian.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Because this bandit by Tevin, because he entered within 10 feet of me, could I use my reaction of Hail of Spores?
Oh, yeah, that is 10 feet. Yeah, that's what's the Constitution saving roll that he has to make? Is it 14, 13? What's your spell save?
Didn't we just auto for it?
On successes.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do I find that out?
Let's see. It's 14 because that's what her ice knife spell save was.
Okay. He got an 11, so he takes the 4. Also, I'm actually rolling an actual jumbo-sized dice for these things. It's fantastic. It's a bouncy ball.
I was going to say, I didn't hear it rolling.
It's because it's rubber. It's a bouncy ball. It's fantastic. So with that, as he does get within that range, he kind of coughs a little bit as he's inhaling these spores. You know, it hurts him a little bit, but other than that, he's pretty okay. So now, Valerian, that is back to you.
Okay. I am going to move just a little bit here. J. Edgar Hoover is going to fly over towards Tevin in his interaction with the other bandit. And since Mr. Captain is engaged with Caster, going to sneak attack. Hand crossbow. For 21 to hit.
Which one were you aiming at? The
captain.
Oh, the captain. Yep, 21 hits. I mean, it hits both of them, but either one. But
And then
7, 13.
13.
I mean, he's looking hurt. Let's be honest here. You know, he's still standing. He's very, very flustered as, you know, he tried to swing on Cass multiple times. Nothing was connecting.
Do I get advantage on the second attack too?
Well, your owl's over on the other guy. Are you shooting at him or are you?
Yeah, who are you shooting at?
No, I was going to shoot at the captain, but
Then no. So the first one hits him. He notices that you're there. The second one just whizzes past his face yet again. For nothing there, but then it is to Cass.
You had enough yet, buddy?
Fuck, bud. I think we made a bad choice here.
Alright, I'm guessing that 8's not going to hit.
Nope, 8 misses.
Bonus action, I will swing with the butt of the quarterstaff. 14.
14 misses as well.
Yeah, well.
So just clang, clang, like, I mean, he doesn't have any metal on. So it's more like a thunk, thunk. Just as it either hits his sword or just kind of like bounces off of his shoulder or anything like that. No real damage is done. But then it is back to Tevin, who is going to... He's going to cast Hunter's Mark on the person that is right in front of him, the bandit that already cut into his arm. And then he is going to swing his mace. With that, I think Tevin's just scared at this point in time. I mean, he's...
Oh, I had a question. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go for it.
Probably should have asked this before I sent him over there, but I sent Jagger over there to do all of that, so I don't know if that would help Tevin or not, or if that only applies to me, or...
Would he get flanking? Dave, if say Tevin used part of his movement to go there? I don't know about with your familiar. I think that might only benefit you.
Well, the familiar gives the help action. They can't provide flanking because I don't believe his familiar has an attack.
No, it's a. I forget the term, but no, it doesn't have an actual attack. But
Yeah,
I didn't know if it could distract or give the help action to Tevin being there as opposed to just myself.
I mean, if
Again, I should have asked that before I did it, but
well, when you have your familiar act, you gotta say who he can give the help action to other people, but you gotta specify who he's helping when you move him.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that's why I said it was like doing it over there by Tevin's thing, but I see what you mean. But
either way, even if he had given the help action, even with advantage, he rolled pretty poorly, so doesn't really get anything from that. And then from there is going to go to the bugbear. With bugbear's just going to hop down a little bit just to be a little bit more in range, and then he's going to throw his javelin at Cass again. But I'm assuming a 16 misses.
Nope. Just glances off the armor.
All right. So then that is back to Luminora.
Alright. I am going to run up by Tevin here with this bandit and try my scimitar on him.
Alright.
13 to hit.
13. It barely hits. It does hit though, so roll for damage.
4 slashing. Is that like 4 plus 4? Or did I do something wrong with that roll there?
I think it just...
Or is that your extra d6 from your symbiotic?
Oh, that could be.
Oh, yeah, it might be.
Well, I don't think you would still be in symbiotic entity because it's been more than 10 minutes because didn't you go into symbiotic entity before meeting Tevin?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd just be 4 slashing then.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get rid of that.
I mean, it definitely makes some contact, cuts into his side a little bit. He grimaces. Now he's looking at you, realizes that he's surrounded, and from there it is going to be his turn. So he's going to then turn because you just hit him. He's not too worried about this little kid that swung at him a couple of times and missed. He's going to turn to Luminora and swing his scimitar. Does 18 hit?
Yes.
All right. So as he comes down, just cuts, into your shoulder a little bit for 5 slashing damage.
Okay.
And then that's going to round out and go back up to their leader, the little captain there, who realizes that he is just losing so much, but is going to swing his scimitar 2 more times at Cass. 7 misses. I'm assuming 15 misses since 18 misses.
Yep.
And then is going to follow it up with a nat 1 on his dagger. So he's clang, clang, clang. Like he's just...
By the time the third one comes down, I'm just standing there puffing out my chest. Because
he would lose in a sparring match against a tree if he had an axe. Like he's just doing absolute fuck all. And then that's back to Valerian there.
Alrighty. Question: If I were to not use my sneak attack on the first attack, could I still use it on my bonus action attack? Assuming I still had advantage. Just wondering. It doesn't matter that.
I don't know if the rules say you can, but I'm gonna say, yeah.
Okay, I was just curious.
Until I have time to look it up. So this might not be a forever thing, but this time you can.
Okay. Let's see.
Yes, it is optional.
It is, so you can use it either on your first or second. Okay.
Once per turn, you can deal extra damage.
And then, I know I've asked this before, I feel stupid for doing it again. When it comes to the advantage, is it just for sneak attack that I get advantage when someone else is like on the bandit, just for example, the captain here? He's within 5 feet of a friendly. Is that just for sneak attack that I get that advantage?
So, for the captain, you would trigger sneak attack because I'm within 5 feet of him, but it doesn't give you advantage.
Gotcha. Okay. Coolio. Alrighty. Excuse me. Alright, I feel pretty comfortable about Caster and his slug match. So I'm gonna have J. Edgar start clawing at this bandit's face up here. While if I can find it, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna hit him with my crossbow, which is a nat 20
Fucking nat 20. Okay, yeah, that hits. I mean,
for 12 damage.
finish him.
Since I'm kind of, on one side there's Luminora, and then kind of like right next to Luminora is Tevin, and kind of place a fairly risky shot, just like right between the two of them, like just catch him in the throat.
Yeah. So as your crossbow flies between them, just into the throat, out the other side, but the bolt doesn't go all the way through, and he clasps his throat, coughs, gasping for air, and then slumps.
And then he's gonna turn to the captain after that shot went so well, and he is going to sneak attack the captain. 24 to hit.
24 hits.
I won't roll the sneak attack. 8 damage.
So with that, you take the one shot, you spin around, you take the second shot. This captain has been swinging his scimitar and dagger, just looks super flustered, hasn't done anything of any real damage. And then out of nowhere, just through the side of his head, a second bolt flies in as he flops back and rolls just ass over feet, which just
I blow on the tip of my crossbow.
And then there's still the bugbear, and Tevin is terrified and sees people that he doesn't know that have not been nice to him and have attacked him, so he's going to
You skipped my turn.
Oh, that's right, it is your turn. My bad. Go to Cass.
Cass is gonna walk over to Mr. Bugbear, and can I tell that was uncomfortable and everything to be there? It didn't look.
Let me scroll back up. I don't think with your perception check that you did. No, you did not know. And he's throwing javelins at you.
Yep. All right, then I am smacking him. That is only a 12.
12 misses.
And with the butt, 7. Wow, I'm rolling
7 misses.
right now.
So, you walk up to the bugbear. He's quick. He's nimble. He's moving around, dodging as you're swinging the quarterstaff and then flipping it around to hit him with the butt end of it. Just quick and nimble like. And then that is going to become Tevin's turn. He's going to take a few steps away from a dead body now at that point in time. And then he is going to cast Sacred Flame on the bugbear. So it's a DC 11. And he rolled a nat 1 on it. So, but he only takes 2 points of damage just as a little burst of... It looks like fire, but it doesn't like burn the air as it shoots out of his hand. It just hits the bugbear just enough to catch him off guard as he looks to where he was just hit from after he was just dodging some swings. But then he is going to turn back to Cass and swing his Morning Star. But he rolls a nat 1, so he swings. Because he was distracted from getting hit by this radiant energy, he swings it down, misses Cass completely, and the Morning Star just goes right into the ground in the dirt. And then that is Luminora.
I am going to cast. Would it be cast if it's a cantrip for Chill Touch?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast Chill Touch. Oh, on the bugbear, since that's the only one left.
A 9 misses.
Okay. And then if I move towards him, can I use Halo of Spores on him?
Yeah.
Within like 10 feet? Okay.
Yeah, because you still have your full movement.
Mhm.
So
Right.
that's a DC 14.
Yep.
Roll a 6. So it's another 4.
Yep.
Again, as you get close, he breathes it in. He starts coughing. He's looking. I mean, not hurt, but that scared him a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And that'll be the end of my turn.
All right, and then that is to Valerian.
Valerian could tell that he was sus, right?
Yep.
He's gonna cast sleep.
Okay.
And it's a 20-foot thing, but I'm just gonna put it, far enough that it gets him and not Cass or Luminora.
Okay. And then, is it a DC save, or do you roll a
He
regular
rolled
spell attack?
5d8, and then he has to exceed his total hit points with the roll in order to
Wow.
Oh, so close.
That's still a pretty good roll for 5d8 too. I mean, that's not.
Yeah, I mean, he think of it as like a toddler that's resisting falling asleep for a nap. He's just.
Yeah, so he's still at full health. Chat. He's not.
Oh, it's all or
It
nothing.
doesn't do any damage. It just
Yeah, it
makes
doesn't
me
do
fall asleep.
damage. It's just he has to. If he equals or exceeds the guy's hit points, then the guy falls asleep.
Oh, never mind then. But still, same sort of thing. It looks like he was trying not to fall asleep, and then he kind of shakes out of it. And then that is Cass.
All right, let's see if I can actually.
He's gonna yell at. Since that didn't work, William's gonna yell at Cass. Take him alive.
All right. Since we want to take him alive, instead of just smacking him, I'm going to stow my quarterstaff and attempt a shove attack to knock him to the ground.
Okay, so then that's strength.
It's a contested athletics. So my athletics versus his.
Is that based on strength?
Yeah. That's only a 12. I'm rolling garbage.
Yeah, that's 21.
Yeah. I rolled an 8 and a 7. It was like,
Yeah, so as you go to shove him, you hit him, and he just kind of stands and leans forward a little bit. So you hit him, and he doesn't move. So you almost as you shove, almost bounce off of him.
well, that's
And
mine.
he just looks down at you and snarls. But
Oh, bring it
he-
on, man.
also, after he snarls, he looks up at Valerian, a little puzzled as to why you said take him alive. And then we are back to Tevin, who is he's going to run up to the other side of the bugbear there, so that he can get flanking, and he's going to swing his mace with a 15, which still misses. So as he's running by, he tries to catch him off guard, swings the mace, but it doesn't make any sort of contact or anything like that. The bugbear looks at Tevin, who just did this to him, and is a little bit confused as to who to go after, because now there's someone on each side of him. But because Tevin just swung at him, he is going to swing his Morning Star with 22, which definitely hits for 14 damage. Tevin is scared. I mean, he's hurt, but he's still standing. But he's scared. He's trying so hard to be brave, but he's like, oh geez, what did I do? I'm so sorry. And then that is Luminora.
And how hurt is he? Because I can't see his HP like anyone else. So is he okay?
I mean, he's hurting.
Don't die, little Deb.
Let me try and get that pulled up. I apologize. I mean, he's not like on death's door or anything like that, but he's hurt. But yeah. So what are you wanting to do there?
First, Halo of Spores. Start there.
Okay. Fails. So it takes another 4.
And two, like, if we were to, try and knock him out, does that have to be a melee attack?
You could still use like a ranged attack, but just say that you're doing non-lethal.
Okay, so chill touch, ice knife, that would be fine too.
Probably not like ice knife, but like no. Not Dave.
Spells, I don't think could be pulled non-lethal. Like, it's necrotic energy. You can't make that.
That's a valid argument and a valid point. So yeah, to do non-lethal, you'd have to do like melee.
Okay, that's what I was thinking too, so I didn't know like for sure, but
I was
okay,
just pulling something out of my ass there, and then Dave was like,
Well, just like a hand crossbow, unless you have a special bolt, I don't think could do non-lethal.
"That's fair." Hit him in the
okay,
side.
I have another question.
Yeah.
With my dagger, can I attack with the scimitar and the dagger? Or no?
You don't have multi-attack at this point in time, or offhand attacks or anything
Well,
like that. So.
anybody can. She just wouldn't get to use her proficiency bonus with the second attack. She'd also have to unequip her shield to do that.
Which doesn't that take an action to like unequip?
Yeah, it takes an action to unequip your shield.
Okay, so I will just go up and attack him with my scimitar. Is there any kind of advantage or anything with how we're like all around him? Just curious.
You wouldn't have flanking,
No. Okay.
but a 19 does hit.
Okay. For 4.
For 4. I mean, he's starting to look hurt. And that's going to go back up to Valerian. So, you swing into him, probably aiming more for like arms and legs at this point in time, not trying to cause any sort of true like body damage because you don't want to kill him. Cuts into him, he kind of snarls, and then that is Valerian.
Valerian's going to move. Oops. He's just going to kind of move a little bit closer to the action there. But he's gonna take a hand crossbow shot at him, but aiming specifically at his leg.
Okay.
13.
13 misses.
He's gonna do it again for 20. Unnatural.
A 20 hits
That would be for 5.
for 5. As the first bolt whizzes between his legs, the second one, catches him in the thigh. He's looking quite scared, as he's just now surrounded. But then that is Cass's turn.
Alright. I'm going to try to swing on him, but do non-lethal damage with my nice blunt quarterstaff. Pull a good old Princess Bride, since I can't have you follow me. And I get a 24 to hit.
24 hits.
That is 9 bludgeoning of non-lethal.
Of non-lethal, yeah. So you swing down, almost comedically, just thunk right on the top of his forehead. He starts to stumble back, looks at you, smells the air, looks at you with like eyes of like sadness and of fear, and then falls unconscious.
And why are we taking this guy alive? Not really in the prison.
He might know something.
Alright, well, let me check my gear here.
I mean, couldn't we just like, without killing him, couldn't we just like, I don't know, just like leave him here and go on?
Well, we might, like Valerian said, we might want to talk to him and see if he knows anything useful. But while he's dreaming away, I'm going to go check his compatriot's body over here and see if there's anything useful.
I'm gonna be trying to wake him up while Cass is doing that.
Yeah, give me Cass, give me an investigation check.
Ooh, I get to add a D4 to that, which isn't going to do much on that 5 or 4 actually.
You don't
Ooh.
need to roll it.
Yeah, I mean theoretically it's not a rush. Like I can take my time.
Yeah. So on the leader bandit there, you really don't find anything, other than what's on his body. A scimitar, a dagger, some leather armor, boots. No like money or rations or anything like that.
Well, this guy seems clean.
All right, Valerian, if you're trying to wake up the bugbear, give me like a medicine check.
15.
Okay, so with a 15, he's still dazed, but it does wake him up a little bit, and he just is in a panic. He's just, who are you?
Who am I? Who the fuck are you? You attacked me, you imbecile.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to. They captured me and have tortured me and forced me to do their dirty work.
Oh. And why would they do that?
Who is they?
Look at the bodies. These assholes.
They're not part of something bigger. They're just a group of idiots.
Did you find anything of value?
No.
Whatever they get, they blow through so fast.
That lends again to my statement of idiots.
It's a nice way. They're fucking dicks.
While I'm standing there, I just casually pull his javelin out of my shoulder and just drop it on the ground.
I'm sorry about that. Had I known how quickly you would have killed them, I would have never attacked. But if I didn't do something and they survived, they would have tortured me.
Well, it didn't hurt that much. Don't worry about it.
What's your name?
It's been a long time since anyone's asked me that question.
How long?
Feels like years. They would keep me shackled and would beat me. But my name is Dementhus.
Oh, Dementhus.
Are you gonna kill me too?
Well, are you gonna attack us again, or are you just gonna go on your own way?
I want to get far away from here.
Where are you from, Dementhus?
I was raised in the woods with my parents, and a group of marauders came in and killed most of our clan, and then I was taken and sold to that fucking guy, as he gestures to the leader over there, laying behind you. So I don't even know where home would be anymore.
I'd say then you've got decisions to make, and you can figure out where you want to go next on your own, but I'm not gonna hit you again unless you give me a reason.
Speaking of which, I kneel down beside him and I've got my crossbow out, and I just get his head into kind of a sort of chokehold, and I put the crossbow like up to his head, make him like look directly at Tevin. You hurt my little friend here. You're going to apologize to him now, and it'll be sincere. If I believe you, you're free to go. If not, I just like push the tip of the bolt just a little bit, like just slightly painfully into the side of his head.
Give me an intimidation check.
I mean, that sounds pretty intimidating.
I would say with advantage.
16?
He doesn't quite know if you can fully deliver, but he's scared. So
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah, he doesn't want to play silly games for silly prizes, that's for sure. So he looks over at Tevin and is like, I'm sorry, little one. I was scared, and I was just trying to protect myself from these monsters. I didn't. I'm sorry. Tevin's just like it's okay. I mean, it really hurt, but I know what it's like to be scared and not know where you can go on your own. So, thank you. And then Dementhus looks back at you and back to Valerian and goes, Can I please go? Oh, Valerian's gone.
I say we let him go. What do you think, Luminora?
Yeah. We can let him go. As long as he doesn't. Well, do you think he's telling the truth?
I don't think he's got a reason not to.
If it'll make you feel better, if I can just take one javelin, but I'll leave my weapons, and I don't have a lot in my purse because they tend to take everything from me. But I've got 8 gold and some fresh water. I'll leave that with you guys. I'll figure it out.
Well, I don't think there's any need for that.
If I can just take a javelin so I can at least hunt and get food.
I don't think we need his money.
No. Take all your weapons, keep your gold, keep your water, and take care of yourself.
Thank you. And then he gets up and runs back into the woods.
I sorry.
Say what you're
I
going
was
to say
just going to
first.
ask. I wanted to ask Tevin how he was doing. But Steven said he's not able to get back into the Zoom or anything, so I don't know if we should figure that out quick or.
Well, that's a good point in time. I'll let you ask how Tevin is feeling on the next episode, because that's where we're going to end the session.
Ah, okay.
All right. Well, for our listeners, if you like this show and would like to support us, please go support us over at buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. When you subscribe, let us know that it is Kobolds that got you to subscribe to our member exclusive benefits like merch, stickers, everything like that behind the scenes. Also, like, share, and subscribe this podcast wherever you get and view it. That really does help us so that you can stay up to date on episodes, updates, and announcements. I know that Steven got booted because his shit froze, but is there anything that you guys want to plug or share or anything like that?
I mean, if they want to, they can follow me over on Twitter, aka X, at nutcase168.
All right. Schaloan, anything?
Personally, not this week, but as Chad said, go support us. It goes to a good cause, like this podcast.
Perfect. The big thing that I have to shout out would be the All Things Nerd podcast. It's a weekly podcast diving into all things nerd. We're rounding out the end of the year here, so we'll be taking a break for the holidays, but there's lots of good stuff on there, and I personally think it's funny. But yeah, if there's nothing else that you guys want to plug, I say we say goodbye from Kobolds in the Basement.
Later.
Till next time.